You have ever wanted to learn how to take a t-shirt like this and make it into a beautiful quilt like this, I have got the video for you to watch right here today, you guys. I'm going to give you a full tutorial on how I took a bunch of racing t-shirts like this and made them into a beautiful quilt. I'm going to take you through step by step in this video and show you how I cut these, what I use to make the t-shirts not stretch when you're sewing them, because that is very important, and how I applied the border and everything else that I did. So let's go watch this video and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it.
All right, the one thing you need to have, and I feel like this is a non-negotiable when making t-shirt quilts, is a product. It's a Pellon product, and it's called Shape Flex. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any craft store should sell this. And what it is a woven interfacing that's fusible, and you fuse it to the back of your t-shirts. And using this is what prevents the t-shirts from stretching. So first I cut out all my t-shirts just a little bit bigger than what I think that I want them to be. Then I cut out all of my Shape Flex approximately the same size. And then I fuse it to the back of all of the t-shirts before I cut them down to the final size that they're going to be. Because once you iron them on, t-shirts, they're knit, so they're going to be stretchy and want to move a little bit. So make sure you take those and you iron them. And it is also important, if you're doing a t-shirt, that you iron either with a cloth over the print or on the back side, so that you do not smear the decal on the shirt. So once you've ironed it on, then go ahead and give it another, like, this is your final trim, and that's going to be the actual size you want each panel to be. For this quilt, I made all of my panels the exact same size because I was a technique called attic windows. And so to get that effect, I needed to make sure each t-shirt panel was the same size regardless of the print. So I started with the t-shirts that had the most print, and that was, for these, it was the ones on the back. And then, this one, I may have cut it, I could have cut it smaller, but I really wanted all of my panels to be the exact same size regardless of the print on there. So you decide what size you want them to be. And then for this, I cut them all the same size. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Then I started cutting out all of my panels for the attic windows. So I was doing one color on the side and then another color on the bottom, which gives that window three-dimensional effect. So I'm using this white with kind of this black grunge fabric for the sides, and then the dark purple is going to go on the bottom. And then where they meet, I actually made half square triangles for those bottom corners. This was the easiest way to do it, and it prevented me from having to have any weird Y seams when putting this all together. So I'm just doing the 2 at a time half square triangle method. If you're not familiar with that, you simply take your squares, you lay them down face down with each other, and then I'm drawing a line through the middle, like corner to corner. And then I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch on each side of this line that I am drawing. And then when I cut it apart, I'll cut along this line, and that will give me 2 half square triangles per square here. I'm doing a little chain piecing, which just means that I'm sewing one right after the other. They kind of connect together, and then you just cut them apart when you're all done. This is just the quickest method. It's not the only method. You can make these however you want. The biggest thing is that you just sew 1/4 of an inch away from that line in the center on both sides of that line. All right, next up for these half square triangles, we're going to take our ruler and we're just going to cut all of them in half along that line that you drew in the middle. So that, like I said, it gives you 2 half square triangles for every square that you are making. The size is dependent on the finished size that you want them to be. And there are a lot of charts and whatnot out there on Google, here on YouTube. There's all kinds of charts that help you figure out what size you need things to be. Then you want to give them a good press. You want to press them open. I always press the seam towards the darker side so that it is not visible in the finished quilt. So once you press them all open, then that is when I like to trim them down to the finished size that I want them to be by using some sort of ruler. I personally prefer the block lock ruler because this ruler has a little groove in it that fits along the seam, so it helps it to not slip and slide as much, and you just align your ruler however you want, and I'm using a rotating cutting mat, which also makes this process super simple. So you just spin it around, slide the ruler down the other side, trim it off so that your half square triangle is now nice and square, and it's going to be ready to sew onto those panels. All right, so next we're going to take all of our t-shirts that have this shape flex fused to the back, they're trimmed to the right side, and I'm going to start with the side panels first. So I cut all of my side panels to the same length as the t-shirt. Now the width of this should be the same width as the bottom panel. And then they meet in the corner with that half square triangle. And if you keep watching, I'm going to show you how I put the whole thing together. So I'm going to go through and sew all of the side panels on to the side of each of the t-shirts. Now we're going to take our half square triangles and that bottom panel that we're going to put on the bottom of the t-shirts. Line them up so the colors match. So I've got the purple in the lower corner. So I'm going to sew that on to the side. And for this, I'm using 1/4 inch seam allowance for everything that I am doing here. So I'm just making sure to match up the bottom edges, the raw edges, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm just stitching them in place so that when you open them up, then the purple is going to continue along that bottom and it's going to transition into the white and the black. Now, before I put that bottom panel that I made with the half square triangle on the bottom of the t-shirt, I'm going to give this a good press down the seam just to make sure that it's laying nice and flat because I really want these corners to match up at the bottom to get that attic windows look in effect. So I'm going to not only iron all of the t-shirts, I'm also going to press open the half square triangle where it is attached to that bottom panel as well. That way all your seams are just laying nice and flat. All right, this is where the magic happens. Now we're gonna match up the edges here. So make sure everything matches up so that when you open this panel, the white matches up with the white, the purple matches up with the purple, and when you put these all up on the wall, you will start to see that three-dimensional attic window effect. Now I'm stitching on the back side because it just worked easier for me matching everything up. You can sew this whichever way you want. You can pin, you can clip. I prefer not to, but that's just me. My biggest concern here is making sure that my seams and everything match up perfectly. All right, that's all there is to it. So you just go ahead and add all these panels now to the bottom of each of the t-shirts. And then that part of it is done. I like to start putting them up on my design wall at this point so that I can see what it's really starting to look like and how it's all coming together. Now for a little added fun, I wanted to make a few panels that I made on my embroidery machine. So I found some really cute files to download and I made 3 separate panels that I could just add in and still do the attic windows thing on there and have everything look uniform and neat. But I just thought this was a fun little extra added element. You don't have to do this, but I wanted to because I'm a little extra sometimes. All right, so I'm putting everything up on the design wall. I need to see where everything is at. And I get asked about this design wall all the time. This is just a piece of foam that we covered with batting and flannel, and we attached it to the wall with command stickies. All right, so I wanted a border that went all the way around or looked like it went all the way around each of the t-shirt panels. So what I'm doing is I cut strips that I'm gonna sew on each side of each t-shirt panel. So I'm gonna sew it down the left and then I'm gonna sew it down the right. Then I can start sewing my rows together and then we'll add the top and the bottom strips in as one complete strip after we've made our rows. So once you get both strips on the first one, then lay down your t-shirt panel and you can see this is just building a strip for the border in between every t-shirt panel that we have. That way there will be a black border that will, once we're done, it will frame around all of the window panels. And again, I do like to press everything as I go. So once I'm done with each row, I'm going to press down those little black panels that we just added in the middle. And then I'm going to put them again up on the design wall so I can get a good look at everything and see how it's all coming together. So here we go back to the design wall, and we're going to lay out each of the rows to make sure that we've got everything where we want it before we start putting it all together. So I've got each of the rows sewn together. So I'm just attaching them to the wall, and they just stick because of the flannel. It just kind of holds everything. So now I'm going to take each row, put them right sides together, and I'm going to attach a long black strip of fabric the same length as your row, same
You
width.
want to be sure
is what
to
you did
take
the
your
side
time,
strips,
match up your raw edges,
and
match up any of the seams just to make sure everything
the rest of this quilt
goes
goes together the right way. Now these pieces are getting quite long here, so I am going to use clips to hold everything together just to make sure nothing shifts or moves. You can use pins, clips, your hands, whatever you want to do here, just to make sure everything stays lined up how you want it. Once I'm done with each row, I like to open it up, take a look, see how it's all looking. Sometimes I'll put it back up on my design wall. Sometimes I'll lay it out on the couch or the floor just to get a look to make sure everything is where I want it to be. But now we're going to just keep building this by adding another strip of fabric at the bottom, and then we add our next row. And this will continue until we've done the entire quilt top. All right, now that we've built the whole quilt top, we're going to add a border. And I thought it would be really fun, since this is a racing themed quilt, to add this checkered black and white border. Now, when you're adding borders on quilts, you want to start by pinning that in the middle and working your way out. So work your way towards the top, then you work your way towards the bottom. For whatever reason, when you attach it this way, it helps keep that border straight. If you've ever put a border around a quilt and all of a sudden you're like, why is this so wonky and crooked and weird? It's because of how it was attached. So the trick is to find the middle of the border and of the quilt top, and then pin it from the middle out. So do that on the sides and then sew it into place, and then do the same thing for the bottom and then sew it into place. All right, are you ready to see what this actually looks like? Here we go. It's huge. It's way bigger than I thought it would be because I didn't really measure. I just built it as I went. Well, now, after making a trip to the fabric store to buy more backing material because what I bought wasn't enough because it turned out so much bigger than I thought, I've got this thing on the long arm. Now, I did not put batting in between this. You totally can if you want to, but I have got a cuddle fabric on the back, which is a faux fur. It is extremely soft and cuddly. It was also very heavy because this quilt it's over 100 inches long. So it's big, you guys. You can totally add batting if you want more warmth. This thing I think is going to be fine the way that it is. So I've got it on my long arm. I'm doing an automated design here. So it's quilting out the design that I want. And don't worry too much. Like, I stressed a little bit about how I was going to quilt this. Like, how is it going to look over the designs of the t-shirt? How is it going to look over the embroidery designs that I did? And honestly, it turned out so good. So don't worry too much about that. I just picked a simple design that I thought was masculine, that I thought complemented the quilt well enough, and I used a light gray thread. So the thread is the same color as the cuddle on the back, and it really blends in nicely, but you still get credit for the design on the front side.
And now all that we have left is to attach the binding. I thought a purple binding would be a great accent for this quilt. So that's what I used, the same purple that I used throughout the rest of the quilt. And you guys can attach binding whatever way you prefer. I started on the front, finished it on the back, and I've got a binding method that you can watch. I'll put that video right here for you. But whatever binding method you prefer is what you should use. But if you struggle with binding and if you just don't like putting binding on like I used to, this method that I'm using is my tried and true, and it is what I go to now every single time I have to do binding. And here it is. This is how it all turned out. You can see the quilting detail looks great with everything on there. I quilted the whole thing. I love how this turned out. Such a great gift. And it's so fun having it be three-dimensional, you know, looking like window panels. I love it.
Well, I gotta say, that was a really fun quilt to make and give. So I don't have it here to show you anymore because I've given it to the recipient for Christmas, which was my brother, and it was really a fun quilt to make. So I hope he's curling up in it, you know, on the couch, because he felt like he had to put it on display. And I said, no, 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 use it. I made it so you could use it. So make sure to tell people you give quilts to that, because I think they can't use them because they're worried they're going to ruin them. So make sure you tell them no, cuddle up in it, use it. I put cuddle fabric on the back side so it is super soft, super cozy, and I hope it's treasured for years to come. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure you hit that subscribe button, you turn on alerts so you know every time I post a video, and I can't wait to see you next time.